today's video, I'll be talking about the United Kingdom. United Kingdom is a very fantastic country. United Kingdom is a market that any exporter should be looking at for them to be able to export their product. The fact that the country have huge demand, about $747 billion in demand, is something that should make any individual to want to consider this country. You know, when you look at this country and you look at the fact that, number one, the country is not landlocked. The reason why I talk a lot about the country not being landlocked is because if you are going to ship into the country, how will the good enter the country? How will he enter? He has to come by road or by rail or by air, and that constitutes less than 20% of total shipment in the world. Majority of shipment in the world is done through the sea. The coastal line of United Kingdom is 12,429 kilometers. 12,429 kilometers. And about 71% of the land is used for agriculture. But what is interesting to me about this country is that even though they are using such a land for agriculture, but the country's agricultural economy is very small. Population is about 68.5 million people. Half is 34 million, which is male, and about 34.5 is female. So there are more female in the United Kingdom than male. Majority are white, but there are also a lot of black. 87.2% are white, a lot of other black and Asians, Africans also in the country. The language is predominantly English. Religion is predominantly Christian. Now, the language and the religion are very important factor when you are trying to go into any export market. The language and religion are important factors. So the fact that they're predominantly Christian and language being English, meaning the labeling of your product will be in English, and you will be able to sell product that Christian will buy. If it's a predominantly Muslim country, you know there will be restriction on things that you'll be able to ship into that country. This country have aging population. Population of 0 to 14 is just about 16.7%, meaning that older people constitute over 80%. About 64% is 15 to 64 years, and about 20% of the population of United Kingdom is actually more than 65 years. This explains the reason why they need more people coming into the country. Urbanization is very important factor when you are going into a particular market. It gives you an idea of whether, if I'm entering this market, how am I going to enter this market? How am I going to enter this market? What is the cost I'm going to be incurring in distribution in this market? What are the costs I'm going to incur in distribution in this market? If the urbanization level is high, like UK is 84.6%, meaning I will not be spending a lot of cost on distribution. Why? Because the urbanization level in this country is high. Now, let's look at the economy of this country. The GDP of this country is actually 3.34 trillion as of last year. That's huge. That is very, very huge. 3.34%. That is the GDP of the United Kingdom. That is the GDP of the United Kingdom. And the inflation is single digit, just about 8%. It's also a very good country for investment and shipment because the fish rating is AA-. But it's interesting to note that $3.34 trillion, less than 1% of that GDP is contribution from agri. You know, for many countries, that the growth of the country is as determined by nature, natural resources. They have a lot of money coming from agri export. For UK, less than 1%. Meaning if you want to do business in this country, you will have to compete seriously in services because services is 72.8% and industry is about 17% of the country GDP. Consumption component. So the reason why it's a good place to sell fast-moving consumer goods is because the consumption component of the GDP is 61 6.8%. Consumption component of the GDP is 61.8%. That is critical. That is very critical because that shows the level of demand. They have a good purchasing power, and the population is just about 70 million people. Agric product in this country that they produce: rapeseed, milk, wheat, barley, sugar, potato, chicken, oats, and pork and beef. However, they are heavy in industry, producing machinery, machine tools, electric power equipment, automation equipment, rail equipment, shipbuilding, aircraft, motor vehicle and parts, electronic and communication, metal, chemical, coal, petroleum, paper-based products, food processing, textile, clothing, and consumer goods. That's the level of production in this country. Now, remember the volume of item being sold, being imported, because they have a very high level of purchasing power. The import volume in this country is 7.47 billion, and they import petrol gas, to crude petroleum, to refined petroleum, to gold, to packaged medicament, to cars, broadcasting equipment, computers, gas turbine, platinum. So many items of import in the UK market. And that then make it a very good market you need to consider for export. The next item on my list that I want to talk about that that UK spend a lot of money importing are food items. This country spend a lot of money importing food items. $36.3 billion to import different kind of food items, from wine to baked goods, that like biscuit, cake and cookies, to prepare meat, to chocolate, to edible preparation, to animal food, to flavor water, to hard liquor, to sauce and seasoning, to pasta, to frozen vegetable, to processed fish, to malt extract, to fruit juice, to alcohol drinks, to soya meal, to processed tomato, to beer, to raw tobacco, to raw sugar, to prepare cereals, to sausages, to confectionery sugar, to ice cream. This country is spending $36.3 billion to import different kinds of food items. Let's take them one by one. UK spend a lot of money importing wine. 12.9%, that's about 13% of the $36.3 billion to import different food items is spent importing wine. Baked good is 8.92%. Prepared meat, processed meat, 7.91%. A lot of money is spent also importing chocolates. Chocolate, 6.31%. Edible preparation, 5.18%. Food item for animals. They don't joke with their pets. Animal food, 5.05%. Not just water, flavor water. 4.71%. Hard liquor, 3.37%. Frozen vegetable, 2.95%. Sauce and seasoning, 2.8%. Pasta, 2.61%. Processed fish, 2.42%. Malt extract, 2.39%. Fruit juice, 2.37%. Beer, 1.47%. Soya meal, 1.8%. United Kingdom is spending $36.3 billion to import different kinds of food items.